Hello, welcome to part 2 of our special broadcast on how to make Ghana-style fufu in the microwave using instant mashed potatoes and potato starch. Our demonstrator is Dr. Naana Nti, who was introduced in part 1, and in part 2 she's going to actually come in the kitchen with us and show us how to do it and how to make wonderful microwave fufu in under 10 minutes. Let's go.
Instant mashed potato in there. 1 cup of instant mashed potato, and I'm going to put half a cup of potato starch in here.
Now you're going to add water.
Then I'm going to add water to it.
We'll figure out how much water it was in a little bit. And what's the consistency you want?
I'm going to stir it until everything is completely dissolved and mixed, and it helps to leave it to sit for a few seconds because the instant mashed potato absorbs water, so it helps you gauge the thickness better.
Okay, then if you just stopped right after you added the water in.
And the more of your water you can get in the first time, the better.
So it's better to put enough water in at the beginning rather. That's one of the problems that I've had is when I add more water later, it messes it up.
So I'm going to add a little bit more water to it.
We'll tell you later how much water she put in, but at this point we're just going to look at the texture of it. Can you just lift that up on the spoon so they can see? Just pick it up so they sort of see how thick it is.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to see.
It's soupy.
Okay, great.
But when it gets in there, it's all going to harden up.
Okay, great. Thank you. So now you're going to put it in the microwave uncovered.
I'm going to put it in the microwave uncovered. I'm going to cook it for about 6 minutes. But I will stir it halfway.
Okay. Got it.
So I'm going to... It's
just on high. And yours turns around. It has a turntable, so it turns as it cooks, right? Maybe that's my problem. Mine doesn't have a turntable. So, okay. Is there anything that they should watch out for while it's cooking? Or do you just...
I said I'm going to stir it halfway so that you can keep an eye on it and stir it after 2 minutes.
Okay.
That's about a third of the way.
Okay, great.
2 minutes for about 3 minutes. And I'm going to stir it.
Okay, so, you can see how it's gotten much thicker now. Now it looks almost like instant mashed potatoes.
Yes, except it's more starchier.
Okay. So you're kind of just stirring from the outside in, basically, or?
Yes, and I'm smashing the lumps against the side of the bowl to make sure that basically breaking up the lumps.
Well, now, mine looks pretty much like this when I do it halfway, but when I get to the end, it's gotten lumpy. I don't know why.
So this is still a little thick. It's at this point that you can gauge how much water you want in it because some people like it softer. So I'm going to add a bit more water and cook it for the last 3 minutes.
Okay. Oh, you don't stir it when you add the water.
I could, but it's easier.
No, what I'm saying is that's why mine gets lumpy, because I stir the water in before I cook it again. That's
easier.
That's good to know. Okay, so you're going to now put it in for another 3 minutes.
I'm going to put it in for another 3 minutes.
Now,
and then after I take it out, I'll mash it again and shape it.
Great. Now, if you had not added the water and you had put it in for the next 3 minutes, it would have just been a harder fufu? Is that what you're saying?
It will puff up a little bit, but yeah, it will be a harder fufu.
Okay.
It won't be as soft as this one is going to be.
Yeah, well, fufu is a very, like many Ghanaian foods, texture is really important. You're getting the texture that you like, the feel, the elasticity. This is much more elastic than sort of like a dumpling, but more elastic. I don't know what we have in the U.S. that we make that's similar, because it's not like mashed potatoes at all, because there you don't have the starch binding it to give it that elastic feeling. I'm going to repeat that. So you poured a little bit of the water off because it was too soft, and now you're using the stirring stick to just...
I'm stirring it slowly,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to continue stirring until
all the water gets mixed in.
All the water gets mixed in.
Okay. Well, clearly, I tried to stir the water in before I cooked it the second time, so that's probably what I was doing wrong. I see that you're also smashing it. You know, this still requires some energy on the part of the person making the fufu, because it's not just moving it around. You're actually pressing it against the side as you stir it to that kind of rhythmic
smashing
motion.
all the lumps.
Exactly. Yeah. So in your family, what's your favorite soup to go with fufu? Do you have a favorite?
My favorite is palm soup.
Oh, abenquan.
Abenquan.
Mhm. And what do you put in your abenquan? Meat, fish, what?
Meat and fish.
Mhm. Shellfish at all?
When I can find crab, I want crab.
One day out of the year in central Pennsylvania, and it's so expensive.
I went to Giant, and I asked the woman whether why they stopped bringing the crabs. Of course, it's winter. But whenever I see them, I buy a few and freeze them.
It's a good idea.
Okay, so now it's smooth.
Okay, then let me just get in as close as I can here. Yeah, you see that it's very elastic and it's very smooth. I think I figured out my problem. Now the next thing is the trick of making the fufu balls. Do you make individual balls, or how do you do it in your family? A big one and people
No,
make
individual balls.
That's the way we always do it too. I'm going to turn this off while you get... Okay, so you're
put water in it,
wetting the bowl so it doesn't stick. Just put a little bit of water in a bowl. We have an asanka here, which is a grinding bowl that's also often used for serving soups and fufu.
And so I'm going to take a little bit of it and put it in here.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of turn it.
This is what Ghanaian women can do that I'm not very good at. Make a very smooth...
Turning it and tucking it underneath. Tucking the sides under until it's nice and it's not exactly round.
I wish we had some abenquan here. I brought a little bit of some leftover groundnut soup. Maybe we'll heat it up and put it over those.
We'll put it in here.
Great. Look at that. Oh, it's lonely looking for soup. Now, even how you serve the fufu, when you serve soup, don't you put a little bit on top of the fufu? How do you do it? You put the fufu in first and then put the soup?
You put the fufu in and you put a little bit the soup on top.
Okay.
So I'm going to put some soup on the fufu, and I just start by spreading a little bit on it. And keep scooping until I have enough. And I'm going to add a little bit of meat to it. I think this is enough.
Okay, this is sort of a leftover. It's got chicken and a little bit of fish in it too. Okay. And now we're ready. And now the thing about eating fufu, if you have never had it before, is you have to know that you don't chew fufu. It's very sensual, sort of like the way you eat oysters. You just always use your right hand. If you're going to use your hand and not a spoon, you wash your hand first. Nana's already washed hers. And do you want to just show them how the art of taking a little bit and with your fingers?
Yes, you just sort of use your fingers, take a little bit.
Sorry.
I like to knead it a little bit before I swallow it, but that's just a...
Let them see about the size of it.
About the size.
Uh-huh. And? Hi, I'm Fran, and I came home from Nana's house, made the microwave fufu following her recipe, and it worked like a charm. So I'm so excited. Actually, the ingredients she uses are cheaper than the ones I'm usually using, and I thought I should mention, by the way, that when you are making the fufu ball, you should realize that the fufu is going to be really hot. So if your hands are not used to that, you might want to use a spoon to shape the ball, or put it in a bowl and just kind of shape the bowl like that to get it round. So I came home and I made some for my husband, and he's going to try it and tell me what he thinks. Okay, my husband is going to check it out and tell me what he thinks of the fufu. So what's your verdict?
I think you get an A-.
What is the minus for?
Well, because there's always room for improvement.
Okay, thank you. Can you just let me come in on your hands and let you show them how that you actually cut the fufu and turn and put it into your mouth. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Naana.